Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. Kisumu is also fantastic. Maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, in this particular video, I want us to look at 5 urgent things which Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta must do to tame William Ruto. And the question which most Kenyans are asking is whether Uhuru and Raila can actually tame William Ruto. They're asking that question because Ruto actually managed to outmaneuver both Raila, who was enjoying the support of the deep state, and Uhuru Kenyatta, who was then a sitting president. Because if they want to be able to tame William Ruto, one thing I can guarantee you, that Ruto is going to secure his second term without any sweat, and that Uhuru Kenyatta atajionea, and Raila Odinga is actually going to be forced into retirement. So they must do certain things to tame William Ruto. But is it possible? That is what I want us to look into. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please, I want you guys to take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Let us get straight to these 5 things, which personally I believe if Uhuru and Raila were to follow very closely, then they are likely to tame William Ruto. But if they won't be able to do them, then they should forget, because Ruto is already scheming, not for now, but for 2027. The first thing they must do is that they must identify a presidential candidate right now, and then focus on selling that candidate. If that candidate is going to be Raila Odinga, then they must make it very clear to the voters early enough that in 2027, Raila Odinga is going to be our presidential candidate. Then they start figuring out how they're going to get votes for him. And if they feel that that candidate is not going to be Raila Odinga, then this is also the time to start selling that candidate. In case the candidate is going to be Kalonzo Musyoka, then they need to figure out how are we going to make Kalonzo Musyoka the next president of the Republic of Kenya. If that candidate is going to be Oparanya, Joho, let's say Martha Karua, they must start identifying that candidate and sell him to the people. The challenge they have is that there is a lot of suspicion and varying opinions. But as a matter of fact, if they won't be able to identify a presidential candidate by the end of this year, they are doomed. Sometimes I look at them and I think, okay, are these guys trying to identify Kalonzo? Because most of Azimio activities are nowadays being held at Wiper Party headquarters. So maybe I could be wrong there or right. So, but that's the first thing they must do. The second thing these guys must do, and if they won't do it, they should forget, is that they must decide and agree to disband their communications team. That communications team is doing great disservice to them. You know, sometimes there are wars you win not by going to war, but by strategizing. I've been studying the current politics. William Ruto has made so much blunder, so many blunders. But because there's no communication strategy from Azimio team, these blunders keeps on just disappearing. For example, right now, there is the issue or the talks of high cost of living. William Ruto is running with that narrative that he found the economy destroyed by the handshake partners. Well, this guy promised the country that he was going to change things. Almost 8 months later, he's still blaming Azimio. As a matter of fact, There are so much promises which this government committed to deliver, they have not delivered. Azimio are not coming out strongly to highlight those. While those are the issues which can really force Kenya Kwanza to the drawing board. So that communication team should be disbanded. I don't know what they do. Apart from maybe, which they have done so well, live streaming the videos, I don't see any other communication strategy. Who are their linkages with the media? For example, of late, I've seen the Daily Nation on the neck of William Ruto. And they're doing it strategically by putting Ruto to account. Whatever Ruto said before campaigns and what he's saying now. You saw how Ruto dismissed them. But Azimio should come up with a strategy on how they're going to communicate. They need to recruit someone. The ones serving currently, I think they've overstretched and overstayed their mandate, and therefore they don't take some of these issues seriously. There's also the part of propaganda. How do you deal with Kenya Kwanza propaganda? How do you come up with propaganda which you can sell to the Kenyans? The other day, these guys said they were importing maize, which was a good political tool. Why couldn't Azimio take it and tell Kenyans that hii unga watu wanataka kuuza 150 is GMO? So as a Kenyan, just eat it because you are hungry, but the fact is it is GMO. There's so much in terms of propaganda, communications, clear strategy on this. So Azimio has failed in that aspect. There is nothing like communications department in Azimio. The third thing they must do as a matter of urgency to tame Ruto is to embark on a nationwide campaign on rallies. And things are favoring them. Just today, I saw Maina Njenga being taken to the CID headquarters. His supporters all over. This is now the moment to elevate Maina Njenga. I've seen people like Kalonzo Musyoka failing to even sell their agendas. So Azimio must figure out, we want to go to Embu, go to Meru, go to Tharaka, come to Isiolo, go to Busia, go to Kakamega, and sell Azimio. Just forget about Jubilee. Don't even tell people you're members of parliament, but just sell it. So they need that nationwide campaign or rallies. It would help them in keeping their visibility, communicating their information, what they have, and it will also help them connect with their supporters. And number 4, I strongly believe that it is also the time for these guys to strategize on how they're going to hold onto their strongholds. Just pick the map of Kenya. Figure out, in this area, is Wiper the strong party? Promote Wiper there. In this area, is ODM the stronger party? Promote Azimio or ODM. In which area is Jubilee? So focus on strongholds. Explain to them the reality. That will strengthen individual parties. The truth is, a strong ODM, a strong Wiper, a strong Jubilee is good for Azimio. You can only have a strong Wiper if Kalonzo will decide and go to the Ukambani and focus there. You can only talk of ODM if Raila Odinga were to focus on how to revamp ODM party in Kakamega, in Busia, in Mombasa, in Kilifi, all those ODM strongholds. They must focus. If they want to be able to focus, they should forget. And lastly, Azimio must also learn on how they can change strategy. A change is as good as arrest. Sometimes Azimio are so predictable. And that's why Kenya Kwanza is playing picky ponky games with them. For example, you cannot predict what Azimio are likely to do. When they entered into that, when they began Maandamano, there were people who already knew that ultimately these guys will call it off. The moment it was called off, there are people who knew that Raila Odinga was going to revive it again. When it was revived, there are people who knew Raila Odinga is going to call it off again. As we speak, right now, you can clearly know the thinking in Azimio, what they're planning, what they want to do, and how they're going to react. For example, the cost of living. You can always predict what Azimio are likely to say. And that's how William Ruto has actually sustained himself without much problem. Guys, I don't know what you think. But for Raila Odinga to succeed in taming Ruto, which is critical for them, for Uhuru Kenyatta to manage to tame Ruto, they must do those 5 things. And they are doable. William Ruto is facing serious challenges as we speak. Cost of living high, promises he promised, stale news, there's nothing he can now tell Kenyans. Elastic, when you talk of elastic limit, you pull it, then it reaches a point where it can no longer go. Then it then cuts off. That is where William Ruto has reached. I don't know what to think. That's my take. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.